So I don't believe in hell, but in our English Bibles, Jesus mentions hell 12 times.
Okay, so Jesus talks about it a lot, and you don't believe in it. Well, that's one way to open.
So the word Jesus used that got translated hell was Gehenna, which does not mean hell. It literally means the valley of Hinnom, a real valley outside the gates of Jerusalem.
Yes, Gehenna was a real place, and that's not in dispute. The question isn't whether Gehenna was a real place. The question is what Jesus was using it to warn about.
Jeremiah prophesied that the valley of Hinnom would become a valley of slaughter. He said that they would stack the dead in Gehenna until there was no more room. Jeremiah was very metal. But he wasn't talking about where you go when you die. Jeremiah was saying that because of a failure to show God's love, they would be destroyed by the Babylonian armies. He was talking about the consequences in this life.
That's true about Jeremiah. He was warning about historical judgment. But here's the jump. Jeremiah using an image once doesn't mean Jesus can only use it in that way. Jewish prophets reuse imagery all the time.
I believe Jesus is using Gehenna in the same way Jeremiah was. Jesus says, unless you guys repent from your violence, you're going to be thrown into Gehenna all over again. Not in the life to come, in this life.
Notice what that requires. For Jesus to only mean that hell is something that is happening to us right now would remove huge chunks of the New Testament that talks about future judgment. Jesus talks about judgment after resurrection. He also talks about separating people at the end, and also about consequences that happen after this life. And the apostles do the same thing. Paul, John, Peter. You don't get to this view by reading a few difficult passages carefully. You get to them by flattening dozens of clear ones. That's not a clarification of Jesus' warning. That's a rewrite.
It makes sense to me that prophets like Jesus and Jeremiah use heightened apocalyptic language like eternal fire to describe real-world consequences.
Eternal fire, used for consequences that are only temporary? That's a lot of weight to put on the word eternal.
So no, I don't believe that you're going to go to hell when you die.
That's not a small adjustment. That's removing future judgment from the mouths of Jesus and the apostles. You can debate what judgment looks like and you can debate its duration, but saying Jesus wasn't warning of some future judgment beyond this life requires pulling too much out of the New Testament. Gehenna was a real place, and Jesus used it to warn about something very real. If it only means right now, that's not a warning. That's a motivational poster.